Billie Piper, just broke her silence about that shocking Doctor Who regeneration. And what she said confirms my worst fear. This twist isn't just bold, it might be catastrophic. When that finale aired, the entire fandom went into freefall. We expected a regeneration. We expected a new Doctor. What we didn't expect was to see Ncuti Gatwa vanish in a blaze of golden energy, and Billie Piper standing there instead. Not as Rose Tyler. Not as Bad Wolf. As the Doctor. Or at least, that's what the show wants us to believe. Because in that final moment, that impossible, rule-breaking moment, Doctor Who didn't just turn a page. It tore up the entire book. And now Billie Piper has finally spoken. And her words, they're not comforting. They're not nostalgic. They're a warning. Let's rewind to that scene. The Doctor, broken, bleeding, dragging himself through a storm of paradox fire. His last breath a whisper of hope. Regeneration energy crackling like the universe itself is watching. We're braced for something new, a fresh era, a future we can cling to. And then, she appears. Billie Piper. Her silhouette glowing, her eyes sparking with the kind of chaos that screams, nothing will ever be the same again. No dialogue. No context. Just a look. A smirk that feels like the beginning of something, and the end of everything we thought we knew about the Doctor. Cue the blackout. Cue the chaos. The internet didn't just react. It detonated. Fade Dr. Rose trending globally in under an hour. Memes flooding every corner of social media. And then came the takes. This is genius. This is canon, breaking trash. This is Russell T Davies losing his mind on live TV. The split was immediate. Half the fandom was cheering for the return of an icon. The other half was screaming about canon integrity, about 60 years of rules thrown into the void, for one big shock twist. And honestly, I was caught in the middle. Because part of me loved it. Part of me screamed with the nostalgia of seeing Billie Piper back. But the other part, the part that cares about storytelling, stakes, and the fragile web of rules that keep Doctor Who grounded in its own madness. That part felt fear. Real fear. Because if the Doctor can regenerate into Rose Tyler, then what are the limits now? Are there any? And if there aren't, does the magic die? In the next part, I'm breaking down why this twist is the riskiest move since The Timeless Child, and how Billie Piper's first post-finale statement isn't the comfort fans were hoping for. It's a loaded message that could mean the BBC is about to rewrite Regeneration forever. What was your first reaction to that reveal? Shock? Joy? Pure panic? Drop your take in the comments. I want to know if you think this is bold or a betrayal. And while you're there, hit subscribe, because what I'm about to share in part 2 will make you see Billie Piper's return in a way you never imagined. Doctor Who has broken its own rules before. We've seen Beat Generation. We've seen The Timeless Child. We've seen the Doctor split into two. But regenerating into a former companion, that's not bending the rules. That's erasing the concept of rules entirely. Because regeneration isn't just a party trick. It's the spine of the show's mythology. It's the reason the Doctor survives. Why the story can keep going for 60 years. And if you can suddenly regenerate into anyone, a past companion, a villain, heck, a Dalek if the BBC wants the ratings. What does that do to the stakes? Where's the mystery if anything goes? This isn't just a lore change. It's an identity crisis. And that's why Billie's return isn't just exciting, it's terrifying. So, after weeks of silence, Billie Piper finally broke cover. No TikTok dances. No cryptic selfies. Just an interview that started with a smile and ended with a sentence that still hasn't left my head. The interviewer asked the obvious question. Are you the Doctor now? And Billie's answer. It's not that simple. It's someone you've met before. And someone entirely new. Let that sink in. Someone you've met before and someone entirely new. That's not a yes. That's not a no. That's a puzzle box wrapped in a time paradox. Here's what scares me. Billie's phrasing doesn't sound like a stunt cameo. It sounds like a structural rewrite. A redefinition of what it means to regenerate. Because if she's both someone old and someone new, this isn't Rose Tyler. And it's not the Doctor as we know them either. It's something else. Something that shouldn't exist. Could this be the BBC's way of introducing a hybrid concept? A fusion of identities. Or is it something even bigger? A soft reboot disguised as fan service. Twitter threads, YouTube essays, Reddit meltdowns. Fans aren't just confused, they're angry. One post on Our Doctor Who blew up overnight. If Billie is the Doctor, then regeneration means nothing. If she's not, then this twist was clickbait. And honestly, they're not wrong. Because whichever path the BBC takes, they're walking a razor-thin line. Let's test the room. Do you think Billie's line means she is the Doctor? A straight regeneration, she's a hybrid. A new concept that rewrites the rules. It's all a fake. Out. And Russell T. Davies just wanted headlines. Drop your answer in the comments. I want to know where the fandom stands on this. Because honestly, I can't decide if this is genius or a disaster in slow motion. And while you're down there, hit sub-SKRBE. Because in part 3, I'm revealing why Billie's next project hints at a BBC master plan, and the one piece of forbidden Gallifreyan tech. That might explain everything. Billie said it herself. Someone you've met before, and someone entirely new? That's not just vague PR talk. That's the blueprint for something huge, a redefinition of regeneration itself. Why? Because that phrasing suggests identity fusion, not just personality traits bleeding through, but full-on hybridization. A Doctor who isn't a single incarnation, but a composite being. Part Rose Tyler. Part Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor. Maybe even fragments of others. And if that's true, this is bigger than the timeless child. This isn't just rewriting backstory, it's rewriting the future. Let's talk leaks. Because in certain corners of Reddit and production rumor mills, there's one phrase that keeps popping up: resonance matrix. According to these whispers, the finale's regeneration wasn't pure. It wasn't standard Time Lord biology. It was manipulated by tech so dangerous Gallifrey banned it centuries ago. What does a resonance matrix do? It binds identities across timelines. It doesn't just regenerate you into a new body. It lets you merge. Imagine the Doctor, but carrying more than memories. Carrying actual pieces of other people, other lives. Sound insane? So did Generation? Until it happened on screen. Here's the harsh truth: this might not be about storytelling at all. It might be about survival. Doctor Who's Disney era was supposed to bring global dominance. Instead, the numbers aren't hitting Marvel levels. So what do you do when your show is slipping? You gamble. You go for the big nostalgic swing. You bring back Billie Piper. And you make her the center of the most radical twist in franchise history. But here's the problem. If you break the foundation of the show to chase hype, you don't just risk a bad season. You risk breaking the magic forever. Because if regeneration is no longer regeneration, what's left? If death means nothing, if identity is fluid without limits, then every cliffhanger becomes hollow. That's the fear Billie Piper just confirmed for me. Not because of what she said, but because of what it implies. So here's the question nobody wants to ask. Is this twist the first step in a full reboot? Billie's return could be a reset button in disguise. A way for the BBC to streamline lore, create a cleaner entry point, and build a new Doctor brand for global audiences. If that's true, then Billie Piper isn't just the Doctor. She's the pilot episode of a new era, where anything goes and everything you thought you knew about regeneration was just marketing. Do you love this move? Hate it? Does it feel like bold storytelling, or a desperate swing that could kill the show's soul? Comment below with TM-DOCTOR Bill I if you're all in. TMMRIDHEORY if you think forbidden tech is at play. TMRACIT if you believe this is the start of a reboot. And if you want to stay ahead of the chaos, hit SKRBE, because next time, I'm breaking down the leaked season 16 opener and the cameo that will make this twist look tame. Until then, I'm James Roxer, and this was your BRAGO W Bolivar. In the Whovian, nothing is impossible, but some